What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at Mech Armada. This is a roguelite-infused, turn-based mech-building, customizable brawler where you take a number of mechs and drones and use them to fight off an eldritch dinosaur something invasion. I don't know, the enemies don't seem to have any particular theme or any particular sort of thing going on. Sometimes you're fighting dinosaurs, sometimes you're fighting like weird Cthulhu monsters or like zombies or like little weird blue guys. I don't know exactly what idea or cause the monsters are actually rallied around. But anyways, you are controlling a number of customizable mechs that are fighting something, in air quotes. So anyways, we played the demo for this game about 6 months ago, and because the release was in such close proximity to the actual game release, I didn't end up covering the release. It's been about 6 months now, so I figure we'll dive in and we'll take a look at the final project and just kind of see what they've got rattling along like the actual release client. So anyways, let's dive straight on in. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, you can look down below in the description and I will have a link for you. If you wanted to check out my Discord or my Twitch stream and catch me live where I frequently play the games that I play here on the channel in longer form, that way you can check more gameplay out just in case you're not sure. I absolutely do that as well. But the first thing we really need to do is we need to configure our run over here. You can edit your starting parts if you have things unlocked, just in case you wanted to go ahead and do that. Everything has a different cost associated with it, so every mech is comprised of legs, body, and then attachments. Your body decides how many attachments you get, your legs decide how fast you can move, and the quality of those three parts combined is going to dictate the energy cost that it's going to take in order for you to spawn that mech onto the field of battle. I do have some currency right now that I can spend in order to get different things. We've got the buggy over here. I'd actually prefer to go for things that are a little bit cheaper, but it doesn't really look like we've got anything cheap with regards to our transit method. I do sort of like the idea of the tank right there. I also actually very much like the idea of like spider bot legs. But let's go with, so what's those are mini tracks right there, so 3 health. Those will give you 5 health and they give you 2 move. Okay. We'll keep it where it's at. We'll keep it default for right now. I've got a number of pre-built mechs that I've already made. I've got this guy who can walk, and he's got a double gun on top. This guy's a little bit cheaper, and he's got, like, a little bit more HP. Does he really have more HP? He has more HP, and he costs less. Why is that? This must be the tank treads. But he can't use rough tiles. Gotcha. So that's the downside. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, I'll keep that in mind then. We'll go on back and let's just start off a new run so that you can get a feel for what the game looks like. We can start out with our basic mech spawns over here. I'm going to start out with an expensive mech, I think. That way we've got something to play around with, and he can also cross rough terrain. And then we'll open up our first battle. If you look at the structure of this game, it is, in essence, a game that is a series of consecutive battles that you fight until you lose with a boss here or there interspersed in. This is an energy tile right here. We get energy from parking a mech on top of it and just sitting there. And I would recommend that you do that because everything that you have in this game is persistent. So, like, if this mech was to die in this battle, in the next battle, we won't have this mech. And if it survives, or the other mechs that we spawn survive, we start out the game with those mechs on the next round. And so it's a really, really good idea to try to make sure that, you know, your mechs don't die, and also that you're farming up energy properly so that you can spawn more mechs at your earliest convenience. The enemy's going to move right now. It appears as though they can use rough tiles. This is meta energy. Use meta energy to do exactly what it sounds like. Meta energy allows you to... He's got 6 HP. He hits for 4. Okay. If I move you up to there and, like, I pop a shot... and I scooch back, can I still have my energy? I'm not super positive if this is one of those games where, like, after you fire your weapon, you're not allowed to use the rest of your movement points. Some games in the strategy genre adhere to that, but I'm gonna have to take a better look at it. I'll be honest with you, I was kind of cruising, wasn't really paying attention. I was flicking switches, I was firing guns, I was lighting off big boomies. I was kind of taking care of weird little blue buff alien guys that have been putting in the gym hours. And so I wasn't paying attention to whether or not I had used all of my movement prior to firing off that attack. I feel like there's not a lot that we can do here right now. And I don't really want to give up my energy tile. because I want to farm it a little bit longer. So, like, I'm just going to hang tight, and whatever happens sort of happens. I think we got him, like, right where we want him right now, though. So I'm going to move this guy over to here, and we're going to take out this little blue guy right here. Farewell, blueberry antagonist. You have been annihilated. I'm proud of your gym gains, though. It looks like you've been really putting in the work. So this guy's got a lot of movement left. He's going to kill this guy, though. I want to test whether it ends my turn or not when I fire my gun. We got 5 power right there. That's really, really great. And then we got 7 engineering points. That's going to take us up to 17. That means that we can fiddle around with these mechs a little bit. I would actually recommend putting walker legs on, like, another one. And what we can do here, since we kind of have 2 of the same mech, is I would recommend... So for 14, we can upgrade that bad boy right there. For 10, we can upgrade that to make it do 2 times 3 to 6 damage. So instead of doing 4 to 10 damage, it will do 6 to 12 damage, which is quite a bit better. We can upgrade this little guy just to make him do a flat 6, and he's very, very cheap. We can take this one right here, and no energy cost increase with spawned parts. Don't know exactly what that means. I think it means that if you're using the basic 2.0, that you can spawn multiples of the same mech without a price increase, but I'm not exactly sure on that. What I'd like to do is develop some weapons, so that's the first thing we're going to do. We've got a missile pod over here. It does AoE. That's really, really nice. We've also got an armor-piercing gun. So it looks like it... Oh, no, it fires armor on to one of our guys. Okay, I'm going to take the missile pod. I'm also going to take a new body, and we'll see what we get. We've got the Ranger. It's got 5 health, 1 weapon slot, but it gets +1 range. That's really, really nice. And then we could go with the Tuple, which has 6 HP. It costs 3 energy. I like the Ranger. Let's take the Ranger. I think that extra range is actually going to be really, really helpful. And then I don't think we need a new transit method, so I'll develop another weapon real fast. And it looks like we've got the minigun. It's a little bit more expensive, but it looks like it does the same damage, or so it's a little bit more expensive, but it does the same damage with 1 extra increment as the other double-double that we have. So it'll do 6 to 12 damage straight out of the box. We've also got a flamethrower that's point blank and it deals 6 damage. The target receives 3 burning for 2 turn, and it looks like it attacks 2 tiles in front of you. You know, I like both of these. I'm going to take the minigun, though. Okay, let's go back to our mechs and let's make some modifications here. So I'm going to use my leftmost slot to kind of be like my Premier Series mech. We'll go ahead and give him the Ranger right here, the Premier Series. I don't really mind if it costs a lot of money in order to spawn, but I think let's put the missile launcher on him. I don't care that he costs 10. We'll use this guy as kind of like a long-range AoE nuke. That sounds really, really nice. As far as his colors go, where does the white go on him? I don't know where the white goes. I think it's those little marks right there. We'll make him green. And then with his little marks, we'll make him, oh, I don't know, a little bit of yellow on there. No, it doesn't modify those little slots. I don't know where that color is actually being applied to, that yellow. Maybe it's the lighting on the back. I'm not entirely too sure with that customization. But there we go. So now I feel like we've got a fairly decent layout. We've got like a really, really nice budget build over here. We've got something kind of mid-range, and then we've got something that's got like a designated function, I guess. Let's go ahead and continue. We can spawn one of him on the first turn, and given the fact that these guys are pretty grouped up, I would suggest that we do that. There is a wall of death, so every single fight in this game has a time limit on it. I assume that's to punish and force the player when there's multiple energy tiles to not, like, kite the enemy with debuff bots and just siphon off all the energy, thus getting kind of an advantage. But I'm not a big fan of the death wall. Basically, there's going to be a wall that spawns and pushes in from this back side, and we have to outrun it towards the enemy. I think it spawns, in a lot of cases, like 1 to 2 turns too early, and I think it sort of degrades some of the tactical decisions you can make. It's actually a little bit too tight on some of the battles. Especially in the case of, like, boss battles, I guess. The wall of death can be a little bit obnoxious to deal with. So he can only move up to there. This guy moves faster on roads. How far can you fire that? You actually fire that pretty far. Okay. Now let's go ahead and move him up so we can get some early energy. And we'll go ahead and move these guys up kind of right behind, I guess. We'll end the turn right there. We've got some free energy, so that's good. He can now move up to here, which is problematic. It's not my favorite thing in the whole world. We'll move the missile launcher bot up, though, and we'll see if he can actually do anything awesome from right here. So it looks like he can get 6 damage off. Those guys hit for 12 damage, though, which is actually kind of a beefcake amount of damage. I'm going to abandon the energy for right now in the interest of saving that robot right there and getting the meta energy. And that should allow us to have a good next turn where we can open up on him. I know that I have an action available. I'm fine with it. Oh, really? He did not do what I thought he was going to do. Interesting. Okay. Well, move to here. And nuke right there. That's good. That's the spicy stuff. I like it. I think we're losing somebody here no matter what we do. I think. Yes. We're definitely losing someone right here no matter what we do. So we'll kill you off. And we'll move this up from behind because we need to raise the funds to replace the robot that's about to get got. Alright, so he died. That sucks. I don't love the fact that he's dead. But at least he was a cheap robot that doesn't really cost anything to deploy. So I'm not that upset about it. I can live with it. He can only fire his gun every other turn, so in fact... Oh, it looks like you can fire and then move, so that's good. You guys move away from that point then and kind of kite him out a little bit. I thought that maybe you could only... It would end your turn when you shoot, but I guess I was misinformed about that. I must have misperceived it. I thought when I saw it that it looked like you couldn't move after shooting, but maybe I just miscalculated my movement. That's fine. We'll go ahead and wipe these guys out, and so... They're done. We got 5 energy right there. That's nice to have a little bit of extra engineering. We'll go ahead, and I think that it's a good idea to upgrade something right about now. We are rocking the double-double on a lot of our craft, and so I feel like a double-double upgrade would be a really smart choice. Nice and early. So we got the double-double 2.0. I didn't want to continue right there. That was an accident. But I can actually get another walker in over here. Since we just upgraded the double-double, let's go ahead and put you in, and we'll go ahead and put you in. How far do these move? I was going to say, these look kind of squidgy, and they kind of seem like they can move a long ways. We're going to go ahead and advance as normal. Just keep like a nice strong line. I don't think there's anything he can do for right now, but that AoE is going to be supremely helpful. Like, just having access to an AoE feels really, really good to me. So I'm going to grab you right there. I think if he can make the shot, we can sort of end this right now. Yeah, pretty easy standoff. Like, honestly, we didn't generate a lot of energy because we got like the one turn wipe. Like, we pushed him off the board pretty quickly. But I'll take it. We didn't take any losses, which is really where you get yourself into trouble in this game, is getting into kind of like a never-ending cycle of just sort of rebuilding the mechs that you've had to sacrifice in order to get yourself one battle further. As far as engineering goes, we can apply for an upgrade. I do like the idea of upgrading to the Ranger 2.0 just to give things a little bit more HP. That guy bumps his HP up pretty good as well. So really our option right now is that we can upgrade... I'm going to take that, And I'm going to take the tread upgrade. That sounds good. Like, I think that's going to work out because that's going to, yeah, that increased pretty much that gave him a bunch more HP. That gave him a ton more HP. So actually, our little bare bones budget build right here is going to be pretty rad. We could rename these guys. I'm going to name this one Billy Booms. There we go, because that's what he does. You know what I mean? This guy over here, we'll just call him Double Trouble. There we go, perfect. And then this guy right here, we'll name him, Lil Daka. There we go, that's a good name for him. All right, we could try to build up another mech right now. We do have the 2.0 tracks. Sometimes with the map gen, though, you can get... So, like, I'm always a little bit worried about using the tank treads because sometimes you get maps that have a ton of rough tiles and, like, you just can't do anything with the bots that have treads. And so I tend to like the walkers a little bit better. But they are pricey. They are pricey. I think if we could swap the legs out with engineering on these, it'll lower the price of spawning them. We'll just stick with what we have for right now. Yeah, we've got like a funnel map right here. I don't know what we're going to do with this. Funnel map's tough. Funnel map's real tough. Okay, so I'm going to redeploy. Because we're going to have to make, like, moves here quickly. Because there's no passable terrain down that way from what I can tell. But these little choky maps always get me into trouble. These little strokey choky maps can be kind of a headache. Especially since these guys are kind of beefy and they only occupy one tile. They deal 8 damage, which means they kill pretty much everything we have in one hit. Looks like they really only move like 2 tiles, though. So, like, if we can get the missile launcher in range of them, like up against this wall over here, I kind of feel like we can bombard and fall back over and over and over again. Sort of. Okay, so you get on the power tile right there. You still can't get a shot off, which does not please, like it does not spark joy. But this is definitely going to be kind of a backpedal fight. So if he can put a bomb right there, that would help out. So there's our bomb. So he actually has to be at point blank range in order to shoot. Go for it. I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it. And so realistically, what we need to do here is he can move out to there. So we need to have all these guys kind of file back by one tile. And then we'll rearrange him like so. He's dead no matter what we do, so I can't really change anything about that. But he's so cheap to replace that I don't really care. Like, he's doing his job right now, getting sacrificed. Lil Daka, you will be remembered. Oh, nice. He must have rolled max damage. He killed him off. Very, very nice. I'll take it. So we got 5 more right there, 7 more engineering. I'll take it. Inside of engineering, I think we needed another transport method, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. We've got the normal tracks right there, and then we've got the jet. The cool thing about the jet is that the jet can fly over, like, everything. It can move wherever the hell it wants to move, more or less. But it costs a little bit more. However, I do sort of like the idea of taking this guy and putting him on a hover jet. It's going to make him a little bit more expensive. But I think it does make him a little bit more utilitarian with regards to like how I can move him around and how I can make him function. Do I have any other track methods? I do not. Okay, well, we've run out of things for engineering, so that's a little bit of a downer. So we'll just take the next battle. That is big. I'm gonna spend some energy, I think. Just making like little disposable troops that can maybe eat his hit. Like little sacrificial guys, I guess. We've also got a Rhinotaur in here. Okay. So you and your especially sort of scapula-like butt cheeks. I don't like you very much. You upset me. So I'm going to advance my mechs on you, and I'm going to really, really hope that you don't have any sort of AoE. Because if you do, that's going to be really bad for me. Of all the things that are bad, that will be the baddest. This guy can move pretty far. Yeah, so we really just kind of want to avoid a charge right there. He can move up to that spot. I can get him with a missile right now. And so I think it's a good idea that we start off kind of strong and we sort of just fall back a little bit. And we'll see if we can bait them into this formation over here. Now we do have the energy wall back behind us. That's a little bit of a problem. That means that our ability to back up and get away from this guy is going to be somewhat neutered. Go ahead and move these guys forward as a sacrifice. And really, I'm just waiting for his missile pods to come back up. He should be able to smack that guy, though. Is that what he's going to do? Yeah, I know he's got an action available, but, like... there's not a lot of things I can do here. I'm just going to wait and see. Okay, so we've got a little bit more of an option here. I can't get him no matter where I go. But I can move you to there. Oh, I've got the wrong mech. Hold on. Okay, this game gives you a sweet undo button. That's one thing I very much do like, in fact, is the undo button is the absolute GOAT. It's fantastic. We'll go ahead and fire a missile right here. I think it's like plausible that this guy AoEs. We're going to go ahead and advance aggressively just to see what sort of happens here. But it looks like he's going to AoE these guys or something. Yeah, so he's got an AoE. That's really, really bad. And we pretty much just got buried all in one turn. Go ahead and fire at him. And we'll slow play this as much as possible. I do have enough energy to put in another double trouble. But we're going to need to spread these guys out kind of like into a trident, basically. I'm also a little bummed out I couldn't get that meta energy right there, but I think we've got the kill right here. We did pull it off. We made it all the way through. So, you know, like, lost more than I like losing right there. I would have preferred to have lost less, but we made it. So now, after beating a boss, we can get a permanent perk that goes with us for the rest of the run. We can have it so that our flying units get extra movement range. That's very, very useful. All mechs resist debuffs and damage over time. That is also good, just in case we have anything kind of fire breathing or acid breathing or anything else that might kind of be an issue. My one flying unit is like absurdly expensive right now. So I think I'm just going to go for the thing that benefits everybody. Alright, so with our points that we've got right now, I can go to engineering. We can get a new weapon or body type. I think a new body type is a good plan. So we've got the Dodger, 20% chance of dodging attacks. Okay. And then we've got the Protector. Adjacent mechs get +3 armor. I like the sound of that. So you can use this guy as kind of like the center of the phalanx. Okay. Well, no. Back. I didn't want to do that. All right, so he's got the Ranger body on there. He's very, very expensive. He costs 9 in order to spawn. But we should be able to spawn him next fight, no problem. These guys are using the same mount. Still only costs 1, though. I feel like we designed an entirely new mech. Might need a new transit method, but like if we go with that, and then we go with Protector. He's so chunky, but his legs are so little. He's got them little tiny chicken legs right there. And then he's got 2 gun ports, which I actually sort of like, and we haven't deployed any of the miniguns yet. He's got kind of like a Joe Swanson thing going on. I'm not gonna lie. All right, we'll give him a shot. I don't think we'll be able to afford him, but you know, what else do I have to do except make mechs that are utterly unpragmatic? I'm gonna save my energy for right now. We got lucky with this spawn right here. Unfortunately, the death wall is like behind us right now, and it's already spawned in. I think we've got about 4 turns of sucking energy off of this thing, and before we'll be able to do too much. So he flies over tiles and units, and it looks like he's got a ranged attack. Oh, it's a spawner. Gross, dude. Hate it. Okay. Let's go ahead and advance on the spawner then. I do need my missile launcher, guys, so I'm going to spawn him about as soon as possible. I think if we've got like a nasty man spawner over here, our best bet is going to be AoEs. I can get them from right there. I wish that I could get that right there. I don't think we're going to be able to get all this energy. I don't think there's any way to do it. Yeah, like I said, the blue wall spawns too early. Like, it's sort of like the blue wall spawns too early, and in combination with the random maps that you can kind of get, like, sometimes it exists to basically reduce the tactical considerations that can be feasibly sort of done. And so, unfortunately, I'm not going to say that I hate it, but I will say that I'm not precisely a massive fan of the blue wall of death. Okay, we got him right where we want him. Go ahead and move up. Wipe him out. AoE capability carries once again. He's going to die to the death wall if we don't get him moving. He can't move no further. Next turn, he's going to have to kind of beeline forward hard. But I think we should be able to mop up here. I mean, it's spawning 1 every single turn, but they've only got the 4 HP. So he's got to be point blank in order for this to work. Move him up by like 1 increment because I'm going to need another AoE soon. That's okay. He can have an action available. Nope, that's definitely not what I wanted you to do. I need you to move over to here and then bombard that. which is then going to provide room for me to push forward over here and get onto the hive. And so I think we've had our breakthrough right there. I'm gonna say, I don't think he gets to attack on spawn, so we should be able to just camp this out. And then I think we've got the win right here. There we go. Perfect. We've annihilated the weird alien sphincter that was pooping sea anemones, or... I don't know what it was pooping, all right? It was pooping manta rays, and they were unpleasant, and I don't like them. I want to spawn this guy. Like, I want to play around with him, but since we're getting towards the end of the video right here, I'm going to go ahead and lose my progress, and I'll show you kind of the progressive stuff that exists. So every single time you play the game, you're going to get these little unlock currencies. They will allow you to kind of move down a track and unlock things that are just flatly better than some of the other stuff that exists to kind of help you with your progress. On top of that, you can also use the meta energy to play around with other stuff as well in your improvements menu. And so what this will let you do is it allows you to get kind of new perks that allow you to upgrade your generators so you get more energy at the end of battles, or you can get yourself, you know, a reverse transformer, which allows you to buy engineering for energy. You can do garbage collection that increases the amount of resources you get back when you scrap a mech. And so as you can see, like, little things to unlock. I do think that they need a little bit more variety in this regard. But yeah, now that they're charging money for the game and it's not like a demo anymore, I can kind of give you some of my thoughts after playing the game for a couple of hours. Progression does feel slow on this game, and I don't know if that's just sort of to pad out the game since it's in early access in order to get like higher play times, or if it's the ultimate finishing intent to unlock things pretty slowly. But I'm sort of like of the opinion that in any roguelite, like on the first couple runs, the player should always be unlocking something. They shouldn't always get to unlock something as they move into the mid-game. That lets you have, like, longer-term goals. But in the early game, what you'll find with games like Rogue Legacy and other games of the roguelite ilk, the first couple runs, they put a lot of, like, really cheap, easy-to-access, like, small bonuses right in the earlier part of the game in order to keep the player engaged and feeling like they're making some level of progress. And with regards to the gaseous wall of fart death, I'm not a big fan of it, and I'm not actually entirely sure that the game needs it in order to maintain inertia and be compelling. In general, it actually kind of, to me, felt like it limited tactical options a lot of the time when you combine it with the fact that the energy mechanic requires you to sit on top of nodes stationary and kind of camp it in order to get resources. I think the game would actually be a lot more strategically compelling and dynamic if the battlefields were like larger, like 3 to 4 times larger, the enemy density was higher, the energy cost and the cap on deploying your mechs was lower and higher respectively, and if you didn't have to camp the nodes in order to generate energy and just keep you moving around the map, instead I think it would actually be a fairly simple fix to make the energy nodes generate really small amounts of energy, but have a lot more of them on the map and make them kind of like capsules or like objects or like terminals you either interact with or shoot with the mechs in order to get the energy out of them. That would kind of encourage the player to move around the map in less predictable ways, and it would spread the enemies out along those larger maps in more dynamic ways as well that I think would be more tactically satisfying. With regards to the mech building, I like that part. I think that's actually where the game knocks that entire mechanic out of the park. It's really, really fun experimenting with new builds and upgrading in new directions every single time you make an attempt at the game. But I also think that the enemies could use a bit more of a unified theme. It kind of feels like we've got dinosaurs, we've got bugs, we've got mutants, we've got aliens, we've got monkeys, we've got all kinds of enemies that don't really imply any sort of speculation as to the intent of why they're attacking and annihilating the Earth. And so anyways, that's another thing that I'd like to see. But all that out of the way, it's important to know that this is a one-man operation and it is low budget. So, like, I understand if these observations and sort of suggestions are outside the scope or scale of what the game is going for. And at the end of the day, I do think that it plays fine, doesn't really have any bugs, and building the mechs is enjoyable despite the stuff that I brought up previously. So yeah, this game is called Mech Armada. It's available on Steam right now. You can look down below for the early access link. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Mech Armada, but tomorrow we will very likely have something else. Thank you for hanging out with me, and that's all I got for you. Bye, everybody.